Self-Love is the New Sexy, the podcast devoted to helping you overcome life's most painful and stubborn challenges so you can feel great, have more energy, and live stress-free every day. To reach your full potential, simply work with the powerful spiritual principles that are readily accessible to everyone. It's easier than you think, and on today's show, W. Mark Watts is going to show you how starting with self-love is the key to joyously and harmoniously making that happen.
Hey everybody, this is W. Mark Watts. Welcome and thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Self-Love is the New Sexy. And the topic of today's episode is don't let anyone steal your vibe. Don't let anyone steal your vibe. V-I-B-E. Now, why is this so important? You know, it's funny because sometimes how some of these episodes come about, you know, I had other things planned that I was going to look through and decide on what to do. But then, you know, about an hour ago, I'm sitting here and I'm noticing changes in me. And I'm noticing my vibe is rising and getting strong. And then I start to think about other situations that are going on in my life that, you know, nothing major, but just things that are going on in my life that can steal that vibe, that can lessen that vibe. And I remember almost immediately my mind was saying, no, don't let anybody steal your vibe. And then the very next thought was, you got to talk about that in the episode today. So that's where this came from, just so to give you the background of how this thing developed. Now, why is it also top of mind? Why is that topic even ruminating in my head right now? It's because I'm in a place where I'm ready to take my vibe to another level. I know changes are coming. Changes are occurring right now. Even more changes coming. I'm feeling like doing new and better and bigger things. I'm ready to deal with stuff. I'm ready to make changes. I mean, I know that I'm at a point now where things are changing for me. What that means, I have no idea. But I know I'm in a creative mode. I'm ready to branch out, ready to do new things. And all of that happens when your vibration changes, when your vibration rises. Because in order to do a lot of these things and have these creative ideas, you're going to need energy. And right now, I am just now starting to come back from a place where my energy has been low. And I've been struggling with that and having to change how I do things because of that. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time speaking on that in this episode, maybe on a separate one. However, I do start to feel slight breaks where I'm starting to see my energy start to build slowly but surely. My vibration is rising because, again, of all the things that I'm thinking about, creativity, making change is already occurring, wanting to do different things, wanting to break down barriers and bust through fears. So, and I know that people like you who are listening to my podcast, you are definitely feeling some of those same vibes. You definitely go through those stages. And so I just want to, number one, let you know that, hey, it's normal. It's a great thing. And so welcome to the Vibe Up movement, if you will. You know, it's something that you should look forward to. Yes, might it be a little bit fearful at times? Absolutely. However, what I've learned about fear is anytime I'm feeling fear, it's for one or two reasons. It's to save my life, or it's to point me in the direction that I need to head in. I got to go in that direction because there's something behind it. If you are afraid of something, that means it means something to you. There's something about that thing that gets you excited, that you worry about, which all means, man, to me, it's just being curious and investigating. You know, I'm at the point where I don't want to hide behind my fears. If I come across something that makes me fearful, then I know for a fact, again, if it's not trying to save my life or someone else's life, then that just means, man, I got to dig into it. I got to investigate this thing. I got to see what's going on, because there's something great on the other side of that. Something for me to learn, something for me to experience, someone for me to help, someone or somewhere for me to go for someone to help me. It's just something great behind that fear. Where we have to move through that fear. And again, I'm going to come back to this vibe thing is I use my vibe to bust through those fears. That's the second thing is when you feel that energy, when you feel like doing something new, when you feel the creativity, bubbling up inside of you, when you get these ideas, one way that I power into them is by raising my vibe. I get on another level where, I keep myself in close proximity to positive things. I study, listen to positive things as much as I can. I meditate. I move. Movement is a good way to get your vibe juiced up. Whether you like to dance, exercise, walk, whatever you consider movement for your own situation, your own body. You know yourself better than I do. But get your body in motion, because vibe is all about movement. It's all about change. It's all about, doing something new, pushing yourself to a new place, a new limit. So that's one good way to get your vibe moving, get the juices flowing, is to move your body, man. I mean, I am not a dancer by any stretch of the imagination, but I've recently, over the last week or so, again, as my energy has started to make those small shifts for me, I'm starting to move in bed. I move my shoulders, and I was sitting on the couch working, and I'm moving my hips, and of course I'm playing music, and I'm up dancing. I prance around a little bit, playing some up-tempo music to help get the juices flowing. So they're all things to do, like prime that pump. Again, I call it setting yourself up for success. If you want your vibe to rise, you want to move to a new place, do all kinds of things that you can to increase the chances of success. So all those things I just talked about help me get going, help me raise my vibe, help me feel good, make me move my body. And it's contagious, because as you start to get into that mode, you want more and more of it. And before you know it, you start to think about it consistently. And then if you can get yourself to think about it consistently, man, you're in the game then. Because once you start focusing on it, you're going to start wanting to do it more. And then you're going to start doing it more. So get that vibe pumped up, because that's going to help you. That's just going to fuel that fire and help you break through those barriers, whatever they might be. And again, the third thing is, you got to be really careful, because not everyone will be at that same vibe that you're moving to. Not everyone will want you to move to that same vibe. People will get comfortable with you being in the same vibe, and that's totally cool. No disrespect to anybody. It's just the nature of the beast. However, your job is to allow them to stay in the vibe that they are and be cool with that. Allow them to not want you to move into a new vibe. That's cool. Your job is to still move to that new vibe. Doesn't matter what anybody else wants, but you have to be careful, because they'll say mean things. They'll do things to you. They'll not want to support you. They'll maybe talk about it in negative tones, whatever it is that you want to do. They may threaten to leave you, or whatever the case may be. Be good with all of that, because it's not about them. It's about you and your vibe and you moving to that next step, because that's part of the reason why your vibe is rising. A lot of people don't talk about it, but the reason why you're in this space, you're having these creative thoughts, your vibration is moving up, is because you are being called to do something new. You are being called to step out, to take a different step on that journey. And you may be called to do something totally different than what other people around you might be aware of. That's not their job to be tuned into what you have to do. It's your job, just like it's their job to be in tune with what they have to do. And there'll be times when they have to go and do their own thing too, and that's all cool. But for you, for me, get that energy up and don't let anybody steal it, because people will. Some of them will do it on purpose, some of them by accident. Either way, if they're not with you, they're not supporting you, they're not trying to help you or push you forward, that's cool. Move your attention from them, move your proximity from them, and take down the path of what you have in mind, what your creativity is telling you, where you're being guided, where your vibration is taking you. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. Now, I'm at the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to cut this episode down right now. But I was so excited to speak on this just because, again, it hit me today a little while ago that, I'm not going to sacrifice my vibe for anything. And if I have problems, and I gotta figure those things out, because I'm not gonna waste this good vibe. I'm not gonna let old thoughts hinder what I'm doing. I'm not gonna let what other people do or don't do affect my vibration. I've got to get it moving, keep it moving, and start advancing, and so do you. So again, don't let anybody steal your vibe. Don't let anybody lessen your vibe. Be very vigilant. Protect it. Use it. Move to that next level. Start that next chapter, new project, new relationship, whatever the case may be. But do it. Protect your vibe and don't let anybody, I don't care who it is, family, friends, teachers, it doesn't matter. Don't let anybody steal your vibe. That's all I got for you today. Continue to vibe out, do your thing, enjoy it, and then get ready for the next great thing, right? All right. Be good, everybody. Look forward to talking with you again very soon. Bye now.
You've been listening to Self-Love is the New Sexy with W. Mark Watts. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to tell a friend. Also, make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you listen to podcasts.